So we shall now go on to our next speaker, Dr. Giriraj Vibhute, who's a senior consultant Vitro Retina Services from M.M. Joshi Hospitals, and he's going to talk on a very interesting topic, how to make competitive surgical video. So he was your secret, Srinivas?
Yes, madam, you revealed it already.
Okay.
Okay. So, hello, I'm Giri, and I thank Srinivas sir, Chitra madam, and the ARC for this opportunity. And I have no financial interests in this talk. So a picture says more than 1,000 words. That's what everyone says. But in a video, you already know what it's going to say or what it is actually saying. It is a great tool for surgical technique sharing, and everybody makes videos. But let's think how we can make our videos a little better. So what are we doing inside and after the OT is what counts. First things first, it all starts in the operation theater. As this young surgeon is operating, he's engrossed in his surgeries and he is accommodating, but he doesn't know that the screen can't accommodate. So even if he is doing a great surgery, the video is not focused. So what are we not looking at? Again, when a senior surgeon is also operating, he's busy with his surgeries, so he's not looking at the screen, and at this time it becomes the job of a OT technician or the person who is observing to tell him that the video is not centered. So based on that, he can center the video. And another point which we have to look at in this video is the screen is placed at the head end of the patient. So the operating surgeon, it will be difficult for him to look at the screen. So if the screen is placed at a foot end of the patient, the operating surgeon can have a look at the centration and focusing and everything in between the steps of the surgery. Then after that, again, when a novice surgeon is operating, we can see here she is focused on the cataract part, on the limbus, sometimes even the speculum. But when a senior surgeon operates, he focuses on the area of interest, that is the surgical part which he wants to show. So that is again we have to look for focus, centration, and surgical area of importance. Then again, people like action-oriented videos rather than an idle, unimportant scene. As in this video where Srinivas sir is operating, we can see the cutter being used as a multifunctional tool. Step by step, he is showing segmentation and delamination. The video goes on like a story where we know, the observer knows what is happening. Using pre-op and post-op images is of immense help in understanding. So unnecessarily speeding up of the videos creates confusion and loses finesse. Again, as my mentors always say, a surgeon can do well only if he can see well. Especially this is important for posterior segment surgeons. You should spend some time to clear your view. Use of basic graphics like this. This is what I learned, how I learned segmentation and delamination with the help of this. Again, using the images from the books which we read. This was image from book from Steve Charles showing the conformal delamination. So again, investment in a good recorder always pays off. So we should record from drape on to drape off. So because we don't know when the things are going to get interesting or complicated. What do we do after the surgery? We have to keep a list of our interesting cases. We should remove unnecessary videos to avoid clutter in our setup, and backup. One has to be in the cloud. Know your video editing software, teach video editing to others. Know your audience, know your conference, know the rules. Because some conferences need voiceover, some don't need, some are very stringent about copyright material and everything. Adding a personal touch gives you a step ahead. So as it is said, we rise by lifting others. Then we should record our videos, share the videos as it helps others and it helps us too. With that, I thank everyone for your kind attention. Thank you.
Oh, that was an amazing presentation. I think I don't know whether to say we keep for the best for the last, because everything was superb in this session. So wonderful, Dr. Giriraj. Lot of clarity. So would you want to say anything? Any other person would like to say a few words before I give my concluding remarks? I think dinner time has crossed.
Madam, it was an absolutely fabulous session. I just want to thank you and Srinivas for conducting this really nicely. It is impeccable time, and there was absolutely no drag. in the sense one type of program moved into the other, to the other, to the other. It was very interesting. A lot of points to learn. Thank you very much for involving us also.
Yeah.
I
So
like the
And
concept a lot.
Srinivas, brilliant session. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'll say goodbye now because I have to run down to see my patients now.
Oh, really?
Bombay.
Chitra,
Bombay
very
was
good concept.
You had something to say?
I said I usually don't like such long webinars, but the concept was very good. So I sat through the entire webinar. I did not miss a single talk.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
Very
If
nice.
I did attend all of it, I'm sure you all would have enjoyed it so much more. So let me conclude. I'm sure all of you want to get back. I'm sure it has been a superbly gainful webinar with a wide spectrum of issues. Actually, the webinar was a huge success because of the superb expert panel who discussed it and the extremely superb speakers who really made it an amazing picture for me, especially for me. I'm sure my audience will have enjoyed it too. A heartfelt thanks to one and all of you. And it's just no way I could actually express my thanks to my very vibrant co-moderator, Srinivas Joshi. This particular program especially was totally his baby, so it really felt nice to see him do it so well. And I just take the credit for being here today. My thanks, of course, to my ARC team. Our deep felt thanks are to Mr. Kripal and AIOS team for the way they help out in sending these SMSs. My very special thanks are due to Sai and Manjula from Numerotech. I'm sure many of you would know of them. All those emails which blast your inbox from ARC is because they promptly keep sending to remind you and the attendees to watch these very wonderfully designed webinars. I really take pride. You should watch our cataract webinars too, or our glaucoma webinars. Each of them are such a joy. And I keep concluding every webinar thinking that this is the best. But then I realized that I've thought of that the same thing the week before. So that's the kind of talent which is here in India and the ophthalmologists of our country, which is what makes these webinars so amazing. Our thanks to Mr. Anand Sethi and his team, who was the administrator of webinar admin, and you should see how meticulous he is day in and day out with the same amount of energy to see that the whole thing goes well on time. Our thanks are due for this PG update and all our PG update programs to Sun Pharma, who have really been very supportive to our ARC activities. And finally, our thanks to attendees. It's their attendance, it's their numbers which we see, which keeps telling us, eggs us on to do better and better. But finally, thank you. One and all of you.
Thank you.